Jewish emigration started way before the establishment of Israel. So when Israel was declared, there was a Jewish population in this very area. But then, in 1948, although Israel took more than it was offered in the UN partition plan, it did not annex the East Jerusalem. So the Jews in East Jerusalem were forced to move to the newly established state of Israel, and Jordan annexed the land that remained. Then Jordan built housing units in East Jerusalem for some of the Palestinian refugees and moved 28 families to this area. This was in 1956, and the project was supported by the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East,
UNRWA from now on.
Until 1967, it was okay, but then it became complicated. Because then, in the Six-Day War, Israel annexed the rest of Jerusalem, the East Jerusalem, which was considered as the capital of Palestine by the Palestinians. Following the annexation, in 1970, an important law was enacted in Israel, the Law on Legal and Administrative Affairs. This law allowed Jewish families to reclaim the lost property they allegedly owned in East Jerusalem. This law should be considered alongside another one, dated 1950, the Absentee Property Law, which prevents Palestinians from getting back the property they lost either in East Jerusalem or anywhere else in Israel. Let's see what it is. It was supposedly enacted for the 750,000 Palestinian refugees. It says anyone who left their home during the war will be considered an absentee and lose the right to property. This law, however, did not only apply to Palestinian refugees who never returned to Israel, but internal refugees as well. Their case was defined as present absentee, which is found paradoxical. Thanks to this law, Israel expropriates the land, most of the time via the Jewish National Fund, without giving compensation to the Palestinian owners. So following the annexation of East Jerusalem, two Jewish associations claimed their rights based on the law enacted on 1970. They said they built the house in 1885. The court, however, found that the Palestinians had the right to stay based on the agreement between UNRWA and Jordan. They did not give up, and in 1982, they filed a lawsuit for the evacuation of 23 other Palestinian families living there. A lawyer, Yitzhak Tusia Cohen, was appointed for more than half of the families, and this person signed an agreement claiming that the people living in Sheikh Jarrah were protected tenants. The word tenants change everything for the families, since it invalidates their ownership claim. In 1987, the court decided in favor of the Jewish associations, but also protected the Palestinians' rights as tenants. So now they had two options: pay or leave. And that was how it all started. While the agreement gave evacuation a legal basis, the families insist that they never gave consent to Cohen to sign such an agreement. Until 2008, no evacuation was carried out. But the two associations that claimed rights sold their property rights to a US-based organization that supports settler expansion in the occupied territories, Nahalat Shimon International. This association pushed the button. In 2009, two families were forcibly evacuated, more than 60 Palestinians, including 24 children. Their homes were handed over to settler groups. Since then, there have been evacuations and replacements with settlers, and the rest of the Palestinian families are waiting in fear with evacuation orders in their hands. Needless to say, the neighbors do not get along with each other.